उत्साहो उत्साह बलवनार्य नत्युत्साहत परम बलम उत्साहस्य लोकेषु न किंचिदपि दुर्लभम. The meaning of shloka is उत्साह बलवान है, उत्साह से बढ़कर कोई बल नहीं है. उत्साह हो समस्त विश्व में कुछ भी असंभव नहीं है. The meaning of shloka in English is enthusiasm is the power of noble men. Nothing is as powerful as enthusiasm. Nothing is difficult in this world for an enthusiastic person. As we are facing the current crisis, to overcome this, we have to be enthusiastic. So let's begin. Once again, I welcome you all on today's international webinar organized by KLE Society's Basavaprabhu Kore Art, Science and Commerce College by the Department of Mass Communication and Journalism on topic Social Media in Contemporary World. So welcome you all. Now I kindly request Professor U.R. Rajput Sir, Principal of BK College Chikodi, to welcome you all. Over to you, sir, please.
Hello everyone, good morning to all. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome to our prestigious KLE Society, which was established in the year 1916. It is 104 years old society. It has 270 plus various institutions, wherein 1,25,000 students are studying, and 16,000 plus faculty are working in this society. Our college, named after patron Srimant Basavaprabhu Kore, who was freedom fighter, was established in the year 1969. Our college, Basavaprabhu Kore Arts, Science and Commerce College Chikodi, Karnataka, India, has organized an international webinar on social media in contemporary world by the Department of Mass Communication and Journalism, for which I welcome the resource person, Mrs. Lara Poskoy, Managing Director, Tech 10 Technology, Marketing Consultancy, Melbourne, Australia. I welcome you, madam. I also welcome all registered delegates to this 24th webinar from our college. I feel happy to welcome HOD and Organizing Secretary of this webinar, Manjunath Hanji, IQAC Coordinator, Dr. BZ Kulkarni also. I welcome once again all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I would request today's Organizing Secretary and HOD of Mass Communication and Journalism, Mr. Manjunath L. Hanji, sir, to introduce our today's resource person, Mrs. Lara Poskoy. Over to you, sir. Manjunath sir, we couldn't hear you.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good morning, and I welcome you all for international webinar on social media in contemporary world. Before introducing the great personality, I would like to request you all that please maintain social distance to avoid this COVID-19 pandemic. My friends, participants, and my beloved ones, we have to maintain social distance now to sustain ourselves. So, and I sincerely pray the God that the souls of deceased must rest in peace. And second thing is, recently millions of animals died and thousands of people have lost their lives and normal life due to a forest fire in Australia. In front of nature, we are teeny animals, we are teeny creatures. So please conserve nature to sustainable development and betterment of world. Okay, this is all about my request. I hope you follow the same. Okay. Hi Lara, nice to see you after a long gap. Okay.
Hi.
I hope you are doing good.
I am. I'm doing good. I'm in lockdown.
Introduce my friend Lara Pasco. Actually, we were both worked in Bangalore around 6 months to a year for a Mumbai-based midday newspaper. She is a wonderful girl I have ever met. Okay, and she has many interests in various extents. And Lara, I'm recalling my Bangalore days with you.
Yes, yeah, have a good day. Lots of fun.
And digital communications strategist based in Melbourne, Australia. Originally from Western Australia, Lara trained at Murdoch University in a Bachelor of Communications, journalism and information technology. Actually, what we are now thinking about CBCS and something NEP, it is happening in Australia. They are getting more degrees in the same period. Okay, that is the best part of India now. After graduating, Lara lived and worked in Bangalore as a journalist before starting a career in technology marketing in New Zealand. She was the chief marketing officer for Integration Works and was solely responsible for launching their Australian, United Kingdom, and Canadian businesses, marketing and growth strategies. Lara was then Asia Pacific Technology Marketing Manager for Cohesity, which is a $2.5 US billion technology platform. In Indian currency, it is around 17,000 crore rupees, based in Silicon Valley. Lara was responsible for driving the social media, marketing, and digital lead generation strategies for Cohesity across Australia, New Zealand, Japan, India, and China. Most recently, Lara has started her own technology marketing consultancy named TechTent, where she builds social media marketing, digital marketing, and revenue generation programs for IT businesses across Australia and New Zealand. Lara's expertise lies in building compelling B2B social media and digital marketing programs. It's a concept that create growth, sales, and profitability for her clients. More than this, Lara is a great human being. Okay, last week I just messaged, to present this webinar. Without thinking a second, she agreed to present this webinar. That shows her humbleness towards the people. Okay, that is the best part of Lara, and I am very happy that we have such a great personality today's webinar, international webinar. Interestingly, she has interests in politics and religious matters that connects her to India. We Indians are more prone to the religious matters. Thank you, Lara. I welcome you all again. Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. And good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is safe and well. Obviously, we're in a bit of a challenging time at the moment, all around the world. So I'm based here in Melbourne, in Australia. Our city is around 6 million people or so, and Australia has around 24 million people. And we're all obviously dealing with the same issues around coronavirus as what you are over there. I'm currently in lockdown, so living and working in my house, which is great, and obviously just keeping busy. So in terms of my presentation today, basically what I thought I might do is just go through a little bit about social media in more of a commercial sense. So how you can use social media and content marketing in a B2B environment or in a commercial environment to generate brand awareness, to generate revenue for businesses, and also to be able to position or produce content and copy that is, that promotes and grows the businesses that you may in future be working for. The power of social media has really accentuated and grown a lot in the last 10 years or so. Not so much just from a volume perspective, but also there is a high amount of channels that we can use to go to market, and a whole lot of strategy as well that you can put behind your social media programs to be able to ensure that they are successful and you're able to reach the people that you need to. Even more so in times like now where everyone and most businesses around the world, everyone is working from home. So you really need to be able to communicate with your followers, with your prospect customers, and with your customers via social media channels in a way that is strategic, it's focused, and it speaks to their problems. So that's a bit about what I'll talk about today. I do have a quick slide that I'll just quickly push up, and then you should be able to just follow what I'm presenting on here. So if you can see that one there. So this one here is obviously just a first slide. It just has an introduction of my business, TechTent. So TechTent is a content marketing for technology company. So I started this business close to 2 years ago, I think now. It initially started as a bit of a side project while I was working full time. But then obviously my customers grew and my demands from my, from the people I was doing work with on a social media perspective grew a lot more. So now I run the business full time, which is great. So TechTent is an outcome-focused technology, social media, and digital marketing consultancy. So as Manju mentioned, my background and my education is in journalism and content production. So I started this business because I know that the power of social media is fueled by good writing, good journalism, and good content. And it is a really effective channel for businesses to be able to increase their brand and also to create revenue as well. So my business only focuses in IT businesses. So I just produce content and press releases and lead generation campaigns for IT businesses with that expertise in B2B, which is business to business selling. Then I also do a lot of product launches and a lot of services launches and licensing marketing for major software deals. So some of my customers, you may recognize these names. IBM is one of my customers. RSA, Cybersecurity, MuleSoft, and CrowdStrike are some of my major customers. They're obviously all based in the United States, but they do need a presence in Australia and New Zealand, which is why they get me to do a lot of their work here on the ground. So in terms of the focus of the business, I use social media to be able to generate leads, brand awareness, and sales pipeline for my customers. So social media channels that I generally use in this environment are the likes of LinkedIn or of Twitter or of various other different sort of social assets such as Slack chat rooms and different types of communication tools. However, the main thing that powers all of those social media channels is really compelling content. So very well written social media straplines, very well written blog articles, video blog articles, and then infographics and things like that. So without that strong content base and ability to write and produce various forms of technology content, then the campaigns wouldn't be nearly as effective that we do. In terms of some interesting facts, so an interesting fact around social media and also the power of social media is that B2B buyers, so business to business buyers, make 70% of their buying decisions based off all of your online activity as a business. So that might be your social media, that might be what's on your website, that might be your blogs or your publicity or your videos or anything like that. So in a world where currently people are not allowed to meet face-to-face and sell face-to-face, a lot of people that will be doing buying are obviously going to be looking on your website and all of your social media channels to understand exactly who you are, what your business services, and if it can solve their problem. In terms of the actual technology space as well, across Australia and New Zealand, businesses generally spend around about 35% of their revenue on sales and marketing activities. And this is growing. So what we're finding now from a lot of our statistics is that spend in social media marketing, spend in social media activity, and also just digital marketing activity is increasing exponentially every year. The more and more people go online. So in terms of that, I suppose in terms of how to then encompass a lot of your content is, and this is how how I'll explain to my customers what we do is we really focus on a number of key topics in that social media piece that are relevant to our customers. And then we also build trust with that customer. So we use things like content and various social media channels to be able to educate customers and build trust as well. And then we also, in terms of social media, we use smarter and cheaper approaches to generating a lot of that social media content and then subsequently leads as well. So now, in terms of the power, back onto social media, in terms of the power of social media in B2B, in B2B selling exactly. So social media is absolutely one of the major channels of sales growth for all of my customers in Australia, New Zealand, and from what I know in wider Asia Pacific, which includes India as well. The benefits are social media helps those businesses build brand awareness and visibility in a world that is very digital and is in a world where everyone is very busy and slammed with different marketing messages all the time. Compelling and strongly curated social media activity can really draw in your customers and create you and position you as a really trustworthy brand to your prospect customers or the people that you want to sell to. It also acts obviously as a major distribution channel for your businesses or yourself, your content, your ideas, and your offer. So in terms of actually that distribution channel, I focus with a lot of my customers on ensuring that we've got volume of social media content and we've got a velocity of content as well. So it just means that we've got continual social media messages going out to the market at a high speed. This then obviously ensures that the content is distributed at a rapid rate and that we're influencing and creating as much brand awareness as possible. In particular as well in the IT space, so in technology, because technology is so fast moving and it's such a rapidly changing industry all the time, which is so exciting, to be able to use social media to position your business or your software or your ideology as a thought leader or an industry leader, social media is absolutely key to that. So that includes things like making sure that you're sharing content, you're posting your own ideas, you're answering or posting commentary and insightful commentary to your industry peers, and then also just making sure you have a digital presence. What this will do in that thought leadership space is bring you front of mind to the people that you want to influence, and also it'll bring you front of mind to your prospective customers as well, and we'll just make it easier to be able to build networks, build sales and build revenue, and also to be able to really expand your reach across multiple regions. So many times in the past when I've been working with IT companies and expanding them out from different countries, so say for example, one of my customers wanted to expand from, they had their headquarters in San Francisco in the United States, and they wanted to expand into Australia and New Zealand. So what we did was build a compelling social media program that was only distributed in Australia and New Zealand, and localized all of the messages, but actually focused more just on the technology and the innovation and the way that the industry was moving. This then positioned my customer in Australia and New Zealand as being the thought leader, and started to build a lot of brand awareness around Australia and New Zealand of their technology and their company. So we did that for 6 months, and we built up traction. And then once they landed a sales team in country that already had a series of interested people and parties that wanted to talk to them, that wanted to be part of their ecosystem, and also potentially wanted to buy from them as well. So we were really able at that point to grow the company revenue and performance straight off the bat with a really quite easy and cheap solution. From a technical level as well, some of you might be familiar with search engine optimization. Who isn't these days? Search engine optimization is a great way to, again, increase your brand awareness, but also increase your leads as well. So social media is key to be able to really improving that search engine optimization piece. The more postings that you have in market, the more that the more likely you are to come up on search terms and be found by the people that want to potentially buy from you or work with you, or have a little bit more to do with you. So one of the most important parts in social media in a commercial sense that I use it for is to actually drive lead generation for businesses. So going back to the content writing and journalism piece, and where my experience in journalism has helped with building this business, is that we can produce compelling content that is plugged up on social media channels that then builds leads and sales opportunities for my customers. Without the social media channels on that, we wouldn't be as successful as we are at all. So the main part here is that we actually use a lot of this to be able to distribute our content, which might be things like white papers or an ebook or an article or a press release or editorial, and we share all of that on our social media to be able to generate leads. And then we also track all the metrics on the back end. So say, for example, we produce a blog series, which has got 6 or 7 different blogs on a specific technology content topic. We will release those over a period of 3 or 4 weeks over website and also social media channels. And then we'll start to collect how many leads that we've generated from that work, from those blogs on the back end. And a lot of that content is then reused and repurposed. And then all the leads are put into different types of sales pipelines, and then obviously can convert into new customers for my clients. So, and then just lastly as well, we do also use social media in a commercial sense for customer feedback programs as well. And that's obviously just making sure we've got our eyes on the ground in terms of what customers might be saying about us online, and then also at the same time being able to respond effectively as well. We also do use them and configure social media channels, social listening. So social listening is a component where we analyze the typing and text language of people that are involved in our social media ecosystem, and we listen to whether they have a positive things to say about us or sometimes negative things to say about us. And from that, we can understand out of that social media listening and insight, we can understand whether our marketing messages, content marketing, is being effective, and if we're influencing and demonstrating the right things as well. So now in terms of just a quick one here, just in terms of around some really basic keys to success when building a strong social media program. The first one is your strategy. There is, if you want your social media program to be successul, you need to be able to follow a defined strategy that has got certain types of goals. It's got criteria and areas for for understanding your objectives, what you want to say, who you want to target. I've seen so often in the past a lot of companies, a lot of people that will go out to with on social media channels, but it won't be a coordinated approach, and it won't be a strategic approach, and it won't necessarily achieve the objectives that that person or that business might want to get. Some of the objectives you might want to do is you might want to increase your brand awareness. You might want to increase your leads. You might want to launch a new product to market. So that becomes one of your objectives that you want to use social media for. Then also, obviously, understanding what are some of your goals? What are some of your goals to success? Do you want to create continual sales? Do you want to create, a certain amount of followers every single week? Do you want to be positioned as a thought leader in your industry? Do you want to be interviewed? What are some of the goals that you're doing this for? Really having a tight strategy and tight objectives and goals before you engage in a lot of these things. That'll be your ultimate key to success, because you follow a path and a track and a trend. In particular, again, with social media, so social media falls into what I call in an ecosystem of digital marketing. It's a bit of an integrated marketing, one of the tools in an integrated marketing mix. So you have social media, you have your website, you have your email marketing, and social media is one of those tools, one of those channels to market that you can really position some of your content on. Before people really trust you or trust your company brand, they generally will have multiple touch points via social media, via your website, or via email marketing, or even seeing things outside in the street or hearing word of mouth marketing. So you really want to make sure that social media is integrated in almost every single component of your marketing mix, and then it is also, you've got other components as well, and you're not just focusing on social media. So, if you are doing a big social media strategy, then also make sure you're doing some email marketing as well, and maybe some potential offline marketing as well, and that will just increase volume and velocity. And then in terms of channels to market, so really identify your channels to market and make sure they're correct. With the social media marketing strategy and a push, you need to understand there are so many different social media channels available in market. And if resource or your time poor and you're very, very busy and you don't have a lot of time to focus on this, you need to make sure that your social media is on channels that, or your social media activity is on channels that are where your targets are and where the people that you want to sell to are. So in my domain, I sell, or my business works in the B2B technology space. So majority of people that I would like to influence are on either LinkedIn or they're on Twitter. So they're the two main social media channels that I work off. If I was doing work for more of a consumer brand, like a moisturizing cream or cosmetics or something, I would actually look more onto Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or something like that. That's a little bit more consumer oriented. So being able to really identify where your target customers are is absolutely crucial to making sure that your social media strategy is successful and achieves the objectives that you've already set. Some of the common success metrics that I find in my space, and these are those success metrics in terms of data-driven success metrics. So the beauty of social media and the beauty of digital marketing these days is everything is data-oriented. So, so you can really get some good analysis on what people are clicking on, what people are liking, what is that digital buyer's journey that people are going through. Are they seeing something on your social media site and then going to your website and then downloading a white paper and then potentially buying something? So the beautiful part is that you can actually track that entire flow now and understand where you might potentially be losing people, and also where you're winning people, what messages are doing really well. So when you're building your social media strategy, make sure you understand what your success metrics are and that you're following to them. So, potentially some of these success metrics can be engagement metrics. So how many people are liking or how many people are clicking on your content. The other one you can look at is leads. So how many people are either downloading or directly buying from your social media post or from your website, or how many people are coming from your social media site across to your website, understanding those. Or another basic one is your follower acquisition as well. So how many how many people are following you, how many people are actually listening to your content. One of the key metrics that I work with my customers in a social media sense is engagement and followers. So when I start initial piece of work with one of my customers on LinkedIn, for example, what I'll do is I'll understand first what their goals and objectives are for LinkedIn. Do they, and then I'll build that into their strategy. So do they want to increase their followers, or do they want to just increase a specific type of followers for a certain type of industry or vertical? Then what we will do is we'll initially track how many followers they have and how many points of engagement they have to start off as a baseline. And then when we move forward through that social media delivery piece and we're actually delivering content to market, then we're tracking all of those success metrics and saying and understanding that we're growing. So, if we've got, say for example, 135 likes this week, next week, we want 150 likes, and then we want 160 likes, and we want to keep growing and progressing. Same with followers as well. So we just want to make sure that, if one of my customers starts an engagement in January with 50 followers on LinkedIn, we want to know that by December, 12 months later, that they're going to have 350 followers. And those followers are then people that are, actively engaged with the brand, they're potential buyers, and they're listening to all of the social media content that does come out. So, and then just lastly, before I finish, is obviously if you are running social media marketing in a commercial environment, so for a business or for an employer or for a company, or even if it is your own company and you are doing social media in your own company, it is really important to identify your success in that social media and digital marketing space and communicate that to people as well. Because quite often people or bosses, they might not really understand the importance of social media. They might not understand how valuable it is and how successful it is to the business and how crucial it is to be able to generate sales and potential revenue. So one thing I've certainly learned along the way is ensuring that you're communicating your success and communicating benchmarks and growth in the area as well. So just making sure that everyone knows that you're doing a really good job and that you're achieving certain milestones that you've all predefined as being successful. So the best part about social media, obviously, is that it's such a new field. It's such a new area of expertise, and there's so much data and there's so much opportunity, and it's getting closer and closer to absolutely driving a lot of the sales and marketing functions for almost every person in enterprise around the world. So it's an incredibly powerful channel and with incredibly powerful tools. And if strategized right and delivered correctly, it will be incredibly helpful to you as either employees or employers moving forward in your career. So yeah, that's pretty much all of my presentation so far. Happy to take any questions if anyone has any. If not, not sure.
Thank you, Mrs. Lara, for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would request the participants, if you have any queries, please go ahead. Over to Manjunath, sir. So please, you can deal with the queries.
So far, I couldn't get any questions here. Participants, if you have, I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If you have any questions regarding social media and business techniques, you can ask Ms. Lara Pasco.
So I have one question. Can I have?
Yeah.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Yes, ma'am, I have a question that social media has become a part of our life nowadays. So what is its impact on youths as they waste most of time on social media? And for good purpose, how can we use it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I certainly think that the impact on youths is incredible, even more so than in any other channel we've seen before. I think how we can use it for good is to ensure that there is continually positive reinforcing messages that are going out to to the young people who are easily influenced, making sure that that they're communicated to in a way that is concise and is clear, and obviously allows them to be able to understand the world in greater context. And I think, the sad part about social media from what we see these days is that, a lot of it can be used for not so good, to spread sort of fear and misinformation. So I think it's obviously crucial that, when we are using social media, or if we are marketing to the youths of the world, that we're making sure that, messages are positive, and that they're correct, and that, there is an opportunity for those young people to question what is being told to them.
Thank you, ma'am.
Cool. All right,
Any
guys.
other questions from the participants?
No. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I'll leave you guys to it. It's 3 p.m. here on Friday afternoon in Australia. So I've got one more phone call to do with one of my clients, and then I'm off for the weekend. Cool. All right, great. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great weekend.
Vidya.
Now we are at the end of our webinar session. So I request Vidya Ugrani to present her vote of thanks. Over to you, Vidya. Please proceed. Thank you, one and all.
Good morning, everyone. I am Vidya Ugrani here to present the vote of thanks to the people who made this event successful. Firstly, I would like to thank speaker of the webinar, Mrs. Laura Posco, Managing Director, Tech and Technology Marketing Consultancy, Melbourne, Australia, who shared her precious knowledge on the topic, Social Media in Contemporary World. Thank you, Madam. Now, I would like to thank our beloved principal, Shri U.R. Rajput sir, for your encouragement and support. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to thank Organizing Secretary and HOD of Journalism Department, Shri Manjunath Hansi sir, for making this event. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to thank IQAC Coordinator, Dr. B.G. Kulkarni sir, for his guidance and support. Thank you, sir. Last but not the least, this event wouldn't have been successful without the participants. Thank you to all the participants. Thank you, one and all.